Happy Monday. It's January 26th, 2026, and time for your Monday market update. I am Miranda Andrew.
And I'm Andrew Smart.
Thanks so much for watching.
All right, here are your McHenry County numbers for the last 7 days. We have 84 new listings, 101 go under contract, 51 closed sales, 40 price changes, 1 expired, and 38 on the private network.
Now, we looked at last year's numbers, and we're up about 10% from last year already. So we're at a great start for 2026, but there's some mixed news out there. We looked at CNBC. So every week, we look at lots of different news sources to get what we're going to bring to you in terms of what's happening in our real estate market. If you're reading CNBC, you would see that they put out a report last week saying that pending home sales dropped sharply in December, dampening 2026 outlook. Now, that is actually conflicting with some other news that we read, like on Housing Wire. It says, according to Housing Wire, lower mortgage rates are driving housing demand as both pending home sales and mortgage application data are up week over week and year over year. And that's actually what we're seeing more in our actual business. We've had a lot of calls. We actually took 6 new listings this week. So we had gotten a lot of people reaching out to us saying, this is the year that we're going to sell and buy that bigger house. We can't live in this small house anymore. We need a bigger house. And this is the year that we're going to take our equity, because that's the factor that is really affecting our interest, our housing industry, is that a lot of current homeowners do have a lot of equity in their homes, and they want to take that equity and use it to buy the next home that's going to suit their needs better. And we find that when interest rates are around 6%, which actually, if you look at the Fannie Mae actual rate, rates have been going up for the last 2 weeks since President Trump made his announcement about the FHFA. Rates have actually been going up, but so slightly,
it's almost stagnant at this point. It's pretty much just staying the same.
It's just the same. Yeah. And so rates are going to go up and down a little bit, but we're pretty much living right in that low 6s. And this time last year, our mortgage rates were in the high 6s, and that was a little scary for people. But now that we're right around 6, it kind of seems to be the sweet spot, but we'll see what happens with interest rates.
Yeah, absolutely. And so speaking of the FHFA, they raised the ceiling on the amount of mortgage-backed security loans that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac could buy. Obviously, with President Trump proposing they buy 200 billion.
200 billion
yeah, it was
combined.
200 billion combined. Previously, they were capped at 40 billion each, so 80 billion total. After President Trump ordered them to buy $200 billion combined, they also raised that total that they could buy to 450 million total. So that is a huge, huge jump that we see, really opening the door for more purchases in the future if they choose to do so. Obviously, it's not that they're mandated and they are going to purchase all the way up to 450 million, but they are able to if they choose to do so.
And that's kind of a mixed bag, because if all of a sudden they start buying these mortgage-backed securities and we have interest rates back at 2 or 3%, then we run into inflation.
Absolutely.
So if all of a sudden rates were at 3% like they were in 2021 or 2022, we would see home buyers rushing out to put everything under contract that they possibly can, and we would see prices skyrocket, and we don't want that to happen either. So there's got to be a balance between where the interest rates are helpful and affordable for people, but where we're not causing those prices to skyrocket and we have inflation out of control as well. So a lot of speculation that housing, that interest rates are going to be in the 5s this year. We'll see. I think that if they get anywhere with 5 point anything, we're going to start to see prices go up and we're going to start to see demand return. But right now, here in McHenry County, here in the northern suburbs of Chicago, we have a very strong housing market. We still have low inventory. We still have strong demand. We have obviously the same interest rates as everybody else in the country, but our supply and demand is different here. So if you're listening to national news, I know we had a call this week from a gentleman who said, well, I heard on the news that the housing market is softening and that, he's like, I want to sell now before prices go down. And I'm like, that's national.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to national news. We are in a hyper local industry, and you have to be paying attention to what is happening in your neighborhood, not nationally. So be careful when you're reading national news. It does not necessarily apply to where you live. So hopefully that you found that helpful, and stay warm out there. I heard on the news it is the coldest winter we've had in 7 years.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that
it
one
feels
bit.
like it. So stay warm out there, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.